I try to do my music about what my experiences are. Sometimes I just feel I'm actually on the wrong planet, you know? And I feel great when I'm in my garden, but the moment I go out the gate, I think, what the hell am I doing here? I believe, as most Buddhists and Hindus believe, that it's us coming back, you know? Like our kid, it's something you did, God knows when, but you're doing it again. You know, really, the past, the present, and the future is just one big cycle.
And this cycle, the infinite continuum of time and space itself, encapsulating all we are from conception to dust, from infancy to seniority, is what creates the essence of our being. However, while most people would associate our being with our physical bodies, this is not the case for legendary George Harrison. George explains that we are actually metaphysical spirits encased in bodies.
It's all down to the individual, you know, what you can manifest within yourself as to the value of anything. Really, the whole of life should be a spiritual experience because we are spirits who are just encased in bodies. People forget that and think they're just this body, but we're actually spirits in bodies.
There's enough on this planet for everybody. There's not just enough, there's abundance. It's just that it happens to all be held up by greedy people, and they have, like Buckminster Fuller, who could tell them where to ship the stuff. One place you got too much of something, some other place they haven't got anything. You know, it's a matter of coordination between world powers in order to make it. Because, I mean, I'm certainly doing my best to try and give a little bit here and there wherever I can. So, I mean, the point is, if everybody did give a little, there wouldn't be no starvation and no poverty or sickness. I tell you one thing, there's sickness going on, and there's some good people doing work in hospitals, but they got no bread to do it on. Not only are they working in a miserable condition with sick people, but they're scraping the barrel for funds to keep going.
By looking at his spiritual viewpoints and ethical considerations, I think it's safe to say we can summarize much of George's teachings with the common denominator of a deep understanding of love.
That's it, really. It's all love. Whichever way you look at it, it's all love. How much you can get from each other, and that's determined by how much you're giving to each other. But it all starts within ourselves, and then it spreads to those around us, good and bad. But basically that's it. I think it's the love that we can generate is equal to the love that we get back. Amen. People always say I'm the Beatle who changed the most, but really that's what I see life is about. That the planet is in the control of mad people. The soul is in this body for a period of time, and then it leaves the body. It's like, in a way, the body is like a suit.
George Harrison is a man who needs no introduction. He passed away November 29th, 2001 at the age of 58. He left behind one of the biggest musical legacies of all time, but also an abundance of philosophical and spiritual knowledge. His intellect on worldviews only grows in relevance as time goes on.
You know, I'm unhappy about the world being concreted over and all the forests chopped down and the air polluted, and the fact that the planet is in the control of mad people. You know, people who are crazy, people who are greedy, all these people who are selling the rainforest and, you know, any forests, just selling it because they make some money. Without, you know, I'm very unhappy about that, but I have a long-term view, which is all things must pass. I mean, before it used to be maybe they're going to blow us up with H-bombs, but even that, I thought, it don't really matter. They can't destroy what's within ourselves. Krishna said, there's no time when we didn't exist, and there'll be no time when we cease to exist. The only thing that changes is the body. So even if they blew us up with H-bombs, our soul will stay in our other astral body, and the only thing that won't be here is physical. So, you know, I'm sad about it, the world, but I look at it from within and without.
In 1968, George traveled to northern India alongside the Beatles, where they took part in transcendental meditation training with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. This is a technique George kept with him for many years to come. Although George learned more than just meditation in India, this trip also helped craft his views on religion and spirituality.
I happened to get into meditation through music, really, Indian music. And I went to India to learn a bit of Indian music, and inside I always had a desire to know about yogis. And I can't explain that one. It's just something that's been in me from some time in the past, and I wanted to know about that. So I had the opportunity to find out about it in India, and consequently that led into meditation, because really the only reason to be living is to have complete, full knowledge, full bliss consciousness. Everything else is just mundane and secondary. I wanted to know some method of enlarging my own consciousness, and that's meditation. It's been there millions of years, and knock and the door will be opened. The thing that really got me interested was, after being brought up as a Catholic until I was about 13, I couldn't take it any longer because it was just full of hypocrisy. The teachings of an Indian called Vivekananda, which really impressed me. He said, if there's a God, we must see him. If there's a soul, we must perceive it. Otherwise, it's better not to believe. It's better to be an outspoken atheist than a hypocrite.
And this, for me, going to India and hearing somebody saying, no, you can't believe anything until you have direct perception of it. And I thought, wow, fantastic, at last, find somebody who makes some sense. And so I wanted to go deeper and deeper into that.
The whole basis of religion is to have the experience, have that perception. So there's these methods for God perception, self-realization, which is yoga and meditation, and the process you have to get from a spiritual master, somebody who's an authority on this sort of thing. And the technique we did with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi was a form of silent meditation, which, you can transcend. The purpose is to transcend from this relative state of consciousness to an absolute state of consciousness. People think this is me, and this isn't me, it's just a bag of bones. Basically, everybody is spirit, which is really what Christ was here to tell everybody about. The kingdom of heaven that lies within, which is the state of being, pure consciousness. So, through many years of pollution of consciousness through material energy and this association, then we've all ended up in a fallen state. But really, everybody is basically potentially divine. So yoga, all these methods are really ancient methods just to further pollution of your system and consciousness, and to cleanse the system. The whole thing, the purity that they talk about in religion, is really a mental, physical and spiritual purity, which is obtained through discipline and through practice. So the meditation we did with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi was to sit silently and to transcend through the sense of sound. Like you can transcend with hearing or with touch or taste or vision. Like I think some Buddhists meditate by concentrating on an object, like either a garden, Japanese gardens, on candles, looking into the flame, and they transcend that way. But this method was to transcend through sound. So you're given a mantra. The mantra brings all your body to rest. It calms everything down, and it brings sort of harmony and union just to all your senses. And this way, your thoughts become fine and fine and fine until you can arrive at a point which is transcendental, which means beyond. It's beyond the senses, beyond intellect. People always say, I'm the Beatle who changed the most, but really that's what I see life is about. Unless you're God conscious, then you have to change, because it's a waste of time. Everybody is so limited and so
really useless when you think about the limitations on yourself. And the whole thing is to change, try and make everything better and better. And that's what the physical world is about, is change.
Change that happens through meditation, I mean, it's a gradual sort of thing. But the more you realize, with anything, with just growing older, the more you realize it helps you in some way. With meditation, you're able to understand that there is this unity lying beneath everything. There's something there within every atom that holds it all together, and that in actual fact it really is one. But on an intellectual level, to say it is we are one, then, I mean, again, you miss the point. It's an experience. You have to really have that perception. Maharishi said, for a forest to be green, each tree must be green. So if you stand back and criticize the rest of the people, it's again, Christ said, put your own house in order. Automatically, if I'm to criticize somebody else, I suddenly come back to myself and realize until I'm straight, then I'm in no position to be able to criticize others. Any time of the day, any situation you're in, you can get control of yourself just by sitting quietly and by turning off from the external problems you have. Noise and all this society, that you can go inside yourself where it's always calm and peaceful. On this level of consciousness, it's like the ocean, which is always changing, and the bottom of the ocean is always calm and still. And if you're not anchored to the bottom of the ocean, you're at the mercy of whatever change goes on. So that you can still act out your life on the surface, but you remain anchored securely.
When asked about astral projection, he relates back to experiences he had during meditation. His views on astral projection and death also seem to carry similar traits.
A strange experience when I was in Rishikesh. I went on a meditation course where the object was to meditate deeper and deeper and deeper for longer periods of time, to plug into the divine energy and to raise your state of consciousness and tune in to the subtler states of consciousness, and all those things like walking on the water and dematerializing your body at will are just sort of things that happen along the way. So it's hard to actually explain it, but it was just a feeling of just the consciousness traveling. I don't know where to, and it wasn't up, down, left or right. No body there, but at the same time you don't feel as though you're missing anything. You know, the consciousness is complete. How I see it is that the soul is in this body for a period of time, and then it leaves the body. It's like, in a way, the body is like a suit that you put on.
Do you have any idea where it goes?
Christ said in the Bible about the 3 cages for the bird of paradise, which is the soul being the bird of paradise, and the 3 cages being the 3 bodies that house the soul. And there's they call it the causal body, and then around that's the astral body, and then there's the gross physical body. So death is really when the physical body falls off, but the soul's still in 2 other bodies, so it's then on the astral level.
Do you think life is all predetermined?
In some respects it is, although we do have control over our actions right at this moment. I think what we are now is the result of our past actions. What we're going to be is going to be the result of our present actions. As again they said in the Bible, that God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. That means the law of karma, action, reaction. So we can, there's certain things that maybe there's no way out, like there was no way I wasn't going to be in the Beatles, even though I didn't know it. In retrospect, I can see it was a setup. But at the same time, I do have control over my actions, and I can, do good actions or bad actions, or like I said, I could try being a pop star forever and going on TV and do concerts and be a celebrity, or I can be a gardener. It may sound like a lofty thing to say, but basically, what are we doing on this planet? I think through the Beatle experience that we'd grown so many years within a short period of time. I'd experienced so many things and met so many people, but I realized there was nothing actually that was giving me a buzz anymore. I think fame is a good thing in terms of giving you heightened experience, or at least more experience, and but then it's what you do with that, or what that uncovers. I think for me, you know, as I say, I realize I want to, you know, I just want more. This isn't it, you know. Fame is not the goal. Money, you know, although money is nice to have, it can buy you a bit of freedom. You know, you can go to the Bahamas when you want, but it's not the answer. And the answer, you know, is how to get peace of mind and how to be happy. That's really what we're supposed to be here for. And the difficult thing is that we all go through our lives and through our days, and we don't experience bliss. And, you know, it's a very subtle thing, and to experience that and to be able to know how to do that is something you don't just stumble across. You've got to search for it.
Did you experience bliss on stage or in the studio? In a way, did performing put you in touch with that bliss?
Well, we had happiness at times, and, you know, not the kind of bliss I mean where every atom of your body is just buzzing, you know, because it's beyond the mind. It's like, you know, it's when there's no thought involved. That, I mean, it's a really tricky thing to try to get to that stage, because it means controlling the mind and being able to transcend the relative states of consciousness, waking, sleeping, dreaming, which is all we really know. But there is another state that goes beyond all that, and it's in that state that's where, you know, the bliss and the knowledge, you know, that's available is. You know, I get confused when I look around at the world and I see everybody's running around, and, you know, as Bob Dylan said, he not busy being born is busy dying, and yet nobody's trying to figure out what's the cause of death and what happens when you die. I mean, that to me is the only thing really that's of any importance. The rest is all secondary.
Do you think pop musicians are afraid to deal with subjects that are so big, or it just doesn't occur to them, or do people think, oh, it's not commercial enough? Who wants to talk about life itself?
I don't know what anybody else thinks, and you know, as the years have gone by, I seem to have found myself more and more out on a limb as far as, you know, that kind of thing goes. I mean, even close friends of mine, you know, they maybe don't want to talk about it because they don't understand it, but I believe in the thing that I read years ago, which I think was in the Bible. It said, knock and the door will be opened. And it's true. If you want to know anything in this life, you just have to knock on the door, whether that be physically on somebody else's door and ask them a question, or, which I was lucky to find, is the meditation. You know, it's all within. Because if you think about it, there isn't anything, I mean, in creation, the whole of creation, that is perfect. You know, there is nothing that goes wrong with nature, only what man does, then it goes wrong. But we are made of that thing. The very essence of our being, of every atom in our body, is made from this perfect knowledge, this perfect consciousness, but superimposed on that is through, if I can use the word, the tidal wave of bull that goes through the world.
It's cable, you can say that.
Yeah, so there's this, we're being barraged by, you know, by bull. But not only that, the way the world is structured, or the way creation is structured, we have duality, which says yes, no, good, bad, loss, gain, birth, death. And it's this circle that you get trapped in. It's like the Memphis Blues again. And that's the hardest thing to to understand. What is causing both of these things? What's causing day and night, good and bad? It's all the cause, and this is the effect. So, I mean, we're getting really transcendental here, but that our physical being is really on a very, very subtle level. It's just like the sap in a tree is is the sap, and it runs throughout all the parts of the tree. Now, it's like that. Our bodies are manifesting into physical bodies, but the cause, the sap, is pure consciousness, pure awareness, and that is perfect and perfect knowledge. But we have to tap into that to understand it. You know, in England, you always get, as far as I was concerned, the left, the center, and the right, they're all really the same. They're all different shades of the same grayness. And although it was a long shot, you know, Maharishi tried to get these people formed together into a party which would be called the Natural Law Party, which was...
the same Maharishi Mahesh Yogi.
Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And the idea behind it really is to have consciousness as the basic thing, because really, you know, we get in government, or we get in any situation in life, we get the reflection of our own consciousness. We can't really complain about what we have, because that is us. It's a reflection of our own being. Now, if we could have people who are actually conscious in a spiritual sense, then all the underlying problems to society, I mean, it wouldn't be able to change just overnight, but over a generation or 2 generations, you could have things where, for instance, say in England, and I'm sure it's the same here, you get disease. So you've got a lot of expenditure on hospitals and on fixing up people who have disease. Now, the problem is that most doctors, they study disease. They don't know about health. So you'd need to reprogram stuff so that you teach people about how to be healthy. That way, you don't spend so much money on disease. You'd have, people would be healthier. You wouldn't have such a, you know, requirement for, you know, all the various things that take up all the money. You'd be able to use that money for something else. So the natural law that operates on this planet or in the universe, everything, as I said earlier, everything works in a perfect order. And there's a scheme to things which has a certain intelligence that drives it and makes everything work. Now, if we as individuals could go to that level of consciousness where we can bring it into our being, and as Maharishi Mahesh Yogi once said, for a forest to be green, each tree must be green. So it's no use just 1 or 2 people being, you know, like this. You'd have to make the whole of society, if they had that understanding. And that's what I think really you'd have to, you know, school people. Right from being children, teach people about their health, about their bodies, about consciousness, because it's all to do with consciousness. Raise the level of consciousness, and then everything automatically becomes better.
Do you think it can happen, or do you think people are totally on autopilot too much?
It can happen, but it's something which will take a long, long time, generations of people. I mean, if you look now, just through, say, from the 60s or the 50s, there's a lot more people, thanks to, say, Indian music, thanks to rock and roll music, who have got much more understanding. You go out there on the street now, you can find Indian spice shops, Indian restaurants, and places to go for yoga, for meditation. There's a much higher awareness, generally, on those kind of things. And so it is seeping through. I mean, where did all the really good hippies go when they all dropped out? I think a lot of them are, you know, have, you know, brought up, there's probably 2 generations of kids now who are much more open to that type of consciousness, and they've been brought up by, you know, being vegetarian or whatever that helps the society become, you know, a much more balanced. It's all to do with the balance. You know, we've got too much extreme going on.
You're optimistic.
You have to be optimistic, yeah. You know, it is getting better and worse, because that's the nature of relativity. You know, good and bad, good and bad. But the individual, you know, if the individual gets that consciousness, then it doesn't matter, because in a way you can retain the balance between the good and the bad. You know, because really, good and bad are the same. They are. Yeah. It's the same sort of thing. So it's like in the middle is the safe path.